Yo, what's good? It's your boy Stunner Kid Gunner, and I'm back with another video. You know the vibes. Like and subscribe for the channel, baby. And we're about to get this popping with this Druid gameplay for Diablo 4 beta. I know I'm lacking behind the competition, but we're gonna talk about this Druid class this time and my experience with it during the beta and whether or not it's viable, whether or not I think it's a powerful character, and whether or not I feel like you'll be able to have fun playing this with other people who are going to be using other characters in this game. So first thing I want to say, the character's dope. Okay, you could transform into a werewolf, you can transform into a bear. You know, you have all these different variety of moves and abilities that you can do with this character, and makes it very unique. You can do magic attacks, you know what I'm saying? It's got a lot of things that it can do. So as far as like character creation and stuff like that, it's a very dope character idea that they have put into the game, and that's like the main thing about it. As far as like the rest of the characters, is that I feel like you have to make sure you understand this character fully before you're able to use it in a way where it can be fun to use, especially in the beginning. Or like me, I'm playing on veteran right now, especially when you're playing on veteran, because you'll see in this game I'm gonna have a lot of issues with certain enemies on this veteran mode, because this character is just difficult sometimes, man. You have to really plan out exactly what you're trying to do here. All right, so I mean, basically they did like an overhaul, or at least the developers said they did an overhaul on this character and its abilities and stuff like that. And so we're gonna go over the skills and the skill tree of this character as we go through and watch some of this dope gameplay that's been given by me, yours truly. Okay, so the Druid is based off of a little bit of magic and a little bit of physical abilities in the game. And the basic skills is what I'm going to start off at. So the basic skills is my main, issue with this character here. The rest of it kind of helps out a little bit, but the main problem I have is the basic skills of this character right here. So the basic skills of this character are Earth Spike, Wind Shear, Storm Strike, Claw, and Maul, like Darth Maul. And in this gameplay, I only really use Claw and Maul. Later on in the boss fight, you're gonna see I did Wind Shear, but I just need some range, man. This character has range issues. Range issues are serious for this character. You need to figure out how to close the gap or have range, because it's cool to run up in the regular enemies' faces and attack them and all that other stuff, but it's not cool to do that to the boss. The boss will wreck your life if you run up in his face and try to just start clawing at it with your basic attacks or something like that. But I use Claw and Maul. So Claw, you shapeshift into a werewolf and you claw at an enemy for 6 damage. You can enhance it and you can get a 10% attack speed for Claw. You can also enhance it in the last 2 trees, where you can either make it Fierce Enhancement or Wild Enhancement. Fierce Enhancement, the Claw applies 3 poisoning damage over 6 seconds. Then the Wild one, Claw has a 10% chance to attack twice. I like this one right here. This is the main one you're gonna see me using. I found out a little bit later that Claw just wasn't cutting it in certain situations. So I end up switching to Maul. Maul, you shapeshift into a werebear, and then you maul enemies in front of you, dealing damage. So if you enhance that, the first level of enhancement is that if an enemy is hit by Maul, then fortify 2% of your base life. That's why I switched to it later, because it gives you a little bit more tankiness. You could do the Fierce and Wild with this one as well. And for Fierce, it increases the range and radius of Maul by 30%, which is great. And then Wild is Maul. Maul has a 10% chance to knock down enemies for 1.5 seconds, which is also great. Yeah, I ended up switching off Claw to Maul because I just feel like you know, if I want to play the game on veteran because I'm a boss like that, I don't want to play on easy. I got no time to play this game on easy, bruh. So I wanted to play on veteran. So I had to end up switching them all because the enemies just rush you like right here. Like it just takes me so long to dispatch them with the claw stuff on. This is the claw you're seeing right here. It's like maxed out claw almost. I put up the first amount of my skills in the claw to make sure that it's doing the most it could possibly do, and it just wasn't cutting it when those enemies were running up in my face like that. So that's why I ended up switching to Maul. And Maul gives you, I picked the one that gives you a little bit of fortification, because with this character right here, man, you burn through your spirit energy like it's nothing. You do like 2 attacks with your abilities and your spirit energy is gone. And he's not like the rest of them where you can get your spirit energy back. It doesn't come back. Look at it. You see it right now. It sits there and does not automatically regen back. You have to basic attack people to get it back, which to me is insanely stupid. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea for this character. He needs to automatically regen spirit energy. This is stupid that I have to hit something on either an object or an enemy just to get my spirit energy back for me to use one move, and I use 75% of my spirit energy. This makes this character pretty bad, actually. Maybe it's fine in the easy mode, but on veteran, it's like super hard. It's like playing Call of Duty on veteran. That's how it is with this character right here. Like, dude, this spirit energy thing needs to be fixed, man. I do like one thing and your spirit energy is gone. Look, you can see right now my spirit energy is still down. It has not recovered until I basic attacked him. Anyway, we're moving on to the next thing here. So the core skills of the Druid are Lightning Storm, Tornado, Pulverize, Shred, and Landslide. Okay, for me personally, I was messing around with Tornado and I was messing around with Shred. So with Tornado, you conjure a swirling tornado that deals damage. You can enhance it where each time you cast a tornado, you have a 20% chance to spawn an additional tornado. I immediately put that on. There's no reason if you're gonna use the tornado not to put this on. Like, it's ridiculous because this tornado does not follow the enemies. If you throw it straight, it goes to a straight line, and if you miss everyone, you miss everyone. It's really better to use tornado in an area where it can bounce off the wall, especially if you can spawn, you know, another tornado with that 20% chance of doing that. Then you can upgrade it to enemies hit with tornado have a 100% chance to become vulnerable for 3 seconds, or the primal way where enemies damaged by tornado are slowed by 8% for 3 seconds, stacking to 40%. In my opinion, it's better to go the raging route. Having a 100% chance to becoming vulnerable for 3 seconds. You need that, man. You need more damage. More damage makes stunner happy. You already know the vibes. Okay. So next thing I was using was Shred. Okay. So Shred, you shapeshift into a werewolf and you perform a trio of combo attacks. So your first attack, you deal 8 damage, second attack, you deal 11 damage, and then third attack, you perform a larger finishing move that does 19 damage. If you enhance it, Shred gains a 30% attack speed and heals for 2% of your maximum life. You automatically have to put this on if you're trying to use Shred. Otherwise, you're a fool. You just, there is no question. If you're using Shred, you're gonna upgrade it automatically. And then for raging, Shred's third combo attack is large and applies an additional 16 poisoning damage over 5 seconds. So if you're going with a poisoning build, that'll be where you were gonna go. In this video, I use Primal, where Shred's second and third attacks perform a dash. I needed a way to close the gap between me and certain enemies so that they can't just, you know, back off and shoot me with arrows and stuff or run away. I needed a way to close the gap quickly, so I used that. So for also with that dash, the critical strike is increased by 20%, so that's also good. Now I believe that later on in this video you're gonna see me, or actually, matter of fact, I think in this part of the video I use Pulverize. So maybe I use Pulverize first before Tornado, or maybe I just had 3 of those abilities on at once. Yeah, that's probably what I did. I use Pulverize where you shapeshift into a werebear. You slam into the ground, you deal damage to surrounding enemies. I automatically enhanced it because your pulverize will overpower enemies every 10 seconds while you're still healthy. So if you're still healthy, every 10 seconds you can do the pulverize, and it'll overpower your enemies and just decimate people around you. And it seemed to work for a while in the beginning. You can upgrade it to raging, where enemies are stunned for 2 seconds when they're overpowered. I think I use that instead of the primal one, which enemies hit with pulverize will do 20% reduced damage for 4 seconds. I mean, them doing less damage for 4 seconds, that's cool, but I'd rather them be stunned and I could just, lay into them while they're stunned, you know what I mean? But to each his own. If you want to do the other one where pulverize would do 20% reduced damage for 4 seconds, then go ahead, do your thing. I didn't use any of the other ones, but the other ones, if you're wondering what they are, lightning storm and landslide. If you want to know that, you can just look it up. But next thing we're talking about right now is the Druid defensive skills. This is very important if you're going to play this character, because without this, you're gonna die. You're gonna get wrecked by every elite and boss in this game. You're gonna throw your controller at the TV. You're gonna be pissed. Okay? You're gonna rage quit, and then you're gonna go and make a necromancer because necromancer's so broken, and you wanna have fun playing the game again. Okay? So in this one, pay attention to the defensive move that you want to use. The defensive moves that are here are Earthen Bulwark, Cyclone Armor, Blood Howl, and Debilitating Roar. For some reason, I thought that Debilitating Roar was gonna be the way to play this game with this character, because I thought, oh yeah, you get damage mitigation, yeah, it'd be good. No, it was ridiculous. I don't even know why I even thought that would be a good idea. The best one, I don't care nobody says, is Earthen Bulwark, because rocks surround you for 3 seconds, granting a barrier that absorbs 45% of your base life. Absolutely, you have to put this on, no questions asked. Otherwise, you're just gonna get wrecked all day, every day, and you're not gonna have fun with this character. So you can enhance it where it makes you unstoppable while active. So definitely you need that, because I believe it stops you from being stunned while you're using it. You can upgrade it to the innate version where rock shrapnel flies outward when Earthen Bulwark is destroyed or expires, dealing damage to surrounding enemies. This damage is increased by barrier bonuses. Or you can upgrade it to the preserving thing where casting Earthen Bulwark grants you 18% base life as fortified. Each one you could just do whatever you want. I did innate where the shrapnel flies out because when it's over, it'll go out and do damage, and the damage is increased by barrier bonuses. So why not, right? More damage makes Stunner happy. I tried to do Debilitating Roar where you shapeshift into a werebear, you roar, reducing enemies damage by 50%. I didn't feel like it did anything. I felt like I roared and it was still whooping me to death. I felt like I roared and it just was like so, and then just proceeded to delete me off the map. Okay. If you want to use that, you can go ahead and use that. I'm not going to use that because I just don't like it. It just didn't do what I wanted it to do, especially with the upgrades with slowing enemies for 40% or healing you for 4% of your maximum life. Is just not good enough, man. You want that. You want a shield. You could do Cyclone Armor, maybe. That would be probably good, because then the wind surrounds you, granted 20% non-physical damage reduction. The winds will rapidly expand, knocking enemies back and dealing damage. The only problem I have with that one, why I didn't decide to use that one, is that it grants 20% non-physical damage reduction, which is stupid because most of the characters do physical damage to you. At least in the first area, most of it's gonna be physical damage. So I was like, I don't want to use that because how many creatures do magic damage to you? Not a lot. So I just skipped over that, and I decided to go with Earthen Bulwark. That's the best thing, hands down, no questions asked. Moving on, baby. So we're gonna talk about companion skills. So these are the companion skills of the Druid class, and I think that I only used the wolf one because I just liked the way that one was. But it has wolves, vine creeper, ravens, and that's it, I think. Yep, that's it. So Actually, I lied. I actually did use Divine Creeper at first because I was like, oh yeah, immobilization, I'm all for that. Stopping them from running up on me, I like that. So I did that, where a Vine Creeper periodically emerges from the ground every 7 seconds and applies 11 poisoning damage over 6 seconds to an enemy in the area. So that's a passive that the Vine Creeper does. And then when you activate it, Vine Strangle all surrounding enemies, immobilizing them for 2 seconds and poisoning them for 9 damage over 2 seconds. When you enhance it, Vine Creeper's immobilized during duration is increased by 1 second. So basically the immobilization thing that happens to the enemies is increased by 1 second. So instead of for 2 seconds, they'll be stuck for 3 seconds. And then for the upgrade for Brutal, Vine Creeper's active poisoning duration is increased by 3 seconds. And if you enhance it to Ferocious, your critical strike chance is increased by 20% against enemies strangled by the Vine Creeper. Now I've used it, and it does work. It does do what you want it to do, and it stops them in their tracks. I just feel like for Veteran, it's just not helping enough. I mean, it stopped them for like the shortest period of time. I feel like a lot of them were like resistant to being stopped or something like that. I don't know, but they don't feel immobilized long enough for me to do enough damage, especially once I use it. Usually when I use it, I don't have a lot of spirit energy because you have to hit them first just to be able to get your abilities back, which to me is just stupid. I ended up using the wolves because if you have the wolves, then the passive is you summon 2 wolf companions that bite enemies for 2 damage, where you just sit there chilling. You just chilling. The wolves are out there doing their thing. They have a health bar, all that, right? When you activate the wolf ability, it directs your wolves to focus an enemy, leaping to them and striking them for damage, which is what I want. I want a ranged attack just in case I can't get in close. So if you enhance it, which I did, wolves deal 20% increased damage to immobilized, stunned, slowed, or poisoned enemies. When you upgrade it to Brutal, when you critically strike, your wolves gain 20% attack speed for 3 seconds, which is really nice. If you upgrade it to Ferocious, Lucky Hit, your wolves attacks will have a 10% chance to fortify you for 5% of your base life. I ended up going the Brutal way, of course. I want my wolves to be slapping you while I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to do in the middle of the fight. Especially on Veteran, they just throw a bunch of mess at you, making it really difficult for you to think about what you're gonna do next, especially with this character, because you find yourself with no spirit energy. Druid. Last one is Ravens. If you want to know what that is, look it up. So the next thing we're gonna talk about right now is the Wrath skills. Okay, so the Wrath skills are Hurricane, Boulder, I think it's Rabies, and Trample. So you know what, did I even use any of these? I don't even think I even played with this character long enough to even use one of these. So I'm just gonna go through all of them. So for Hurricane, you form a hurricane around you that deals damage to surrounding enemies over 8 seconds. If you enhance it, enemies who are damaged by a hurricane are slowed by 25%. Oh my god, 25% for 2 seconds. Hurricane has a 15% chance to make enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds. Savage is another upgrade where the enemies are affected by Hurricane deal 20% less damage. I've seen Boulder, and I don't know, I haven't seen Trample, but I've seen Boulder by watching somebody else's gameplay. And basically you just throw a big boulder that knocks them back and crushes them and deals damage and all that stuff. I've seen somebody actually use Boulder and knock the enemies off the cliff. I was like, woo, man, I need that. That's what I need. But I just never, I didn't get to that level with this character because I got so frustrated playing on Veteran with this character. And I was like, man, let me just go ahead and get as much gameplay out of this and the Necromancer and the Sorcerer as much as I can. and then keep it moving. So rabies, you shapeshift into a werewolf, you perform an infectious bite on the target, dealing damage and applying additional poisoning damage over 6 seconds. If you enhance it, the rabies poisoning damage also increases over the lifetime of the disease. Natural rabies spreads 100% faster. Savage rabies deals its total poisoning damage to 4 seconds instead of 6. If you trample, if you use the trample one, you're gonna shapeshift into a werebear, become unstoppable, charge forward, dealing damage and knocking enemies back. Trample does 30% bonus damage if you upgrade it, and then this bonus upgrade, the bonus is reduced by 15% for each enemy hit after the first hit, I guess. I don't know what that means. If you upgrade it on the natural way, casting Trample grants 20% base life as Fortify. Savage casting Trample grants 20 spirit, which would be great. Matter of fact, if you're going to use this character, you probably should just use Trample, because with Trample, you can actually get your spirit back, because this character is just horrible at getting spirit back. It's ridiculous. Like, there's no reason for it to be so hard to like manage your spirit skills and stuff like that. Now, I know I have not even gotten close to getting my ultimate skill with this character, so we're just going to talk about it. So they got Petrify, Cataclysm, Lacerate, and Grizzly Rage, okay? Petrify, encase all enemies in stone, stunning them for 3 seconds. You deal 25% increased critical damage to enemies affected by Petrify. Against bosses, the critical strike damage bonus is increased to 50%, and its duration is increased to 6 seconds. If you upgrade it, Petrify's effect durations are increased by 1 second. Supreme upgrade, killing an enemy by Petrify grants 25 spirit. Sounds like the one to use for me. Anything that gives me spirit, I like it. Cataclysm, the massive storm follows you for 8 seconds. Tornadoes knock back enemies, and lightning strikes wildly, dealing damage. Prime is an upgrade for it, where Cataclysm duration is increased by 2 seconds. The Supreme upgrade is lightning strikes from Cataclysm make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. So, sounds pretty cool. Maybe it's a thing that you could use to get the enemies from bunching up on you and stuff like that. I don't feel like that's very good for boss fights, but you know, whatever. Lacerate, where you shapeshift into a werewolf. You could become immune and dash 10 times between enemies in the area, dealing up to 133 damage. Prime, each time Lacerate deals a critical strike, heal for 3% of your maximum life. The Supreme upgrade for it is Lacerate's initial strike is guaranteed to critically strike and deals 150% increased damage. Sounds pretty powerful to me, and also since you'll be dashing back and forth, you're probably hard to hit. And then the last one here is Grizzly Rage. So you're going to shapeshift into a dire werebear for 10 seconds, gaining 20% bonus damage and 20% damage reduction. Damage bonus is increased by 3% each second while in the form. Kills extend the duration for 1 second up to 10 additional seconds. Okay, that sounds pretty dope. So basically, if you keep getting kills with it, you can keep it going up to 10 additional seconds. Okay, so Prime is an upgrade for it where you are unstoppable while Grizzly Rage is active. And then Supreme is an upgrade for it where 8% of life, you gain 8% of life as Fortify per second while Grizzly Rage is active. I mean, I would probably go the unstoppable route, honestly. I mean, it sounds like a thing that you would want, especially if you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies or elites or a boss or something like that. You want to be able to lay into them without, you know, getting affected by too many of the, you know, but a lot of bosses and elites, they have a lot of, you know, control movements, like movements that stop you from walking fast, you know, keep you stuck in an area or push you back or something like that. So as you can see right here, I switched off from the wolf. You know, I didn't use the bear thing either, because I'm like, dude, you can't even get near this boss to even hit it. Look at all the stuff that the boss is throwing at you all at once. So you have to run and you can't hit it with the claw stuff. So I'm like, well, I need range. I need to be able to hit it from far away. You know what I'm saying? I can't just be running up. And you can see my wolves over there doing damage. My wolves getting after him, chopping them up because I can't get close. The wolves can stand in all that nonsense, but I can't. So over here, I'm using this thing. This is my problem with the range attack with this character. It just doesn't. I don't know, man. I mean, it's there. I was able to hit the boss and stay away from him. As you can see, my spirit energy was just, every time I threw one ability, it was just gone, bro. And with this ranged attack, I was at least able to hit the boss so I can get my tornadoes back, so I can just keep spamming tornadoes because you have a chance of having 2 tornadoes come out. And I was like, wolves, please. I just kept trying to throw the wolves, throw the tornadoes, because I'm like, bro, I can't even get close. He keeps dropping all his poison floors on the ground. He's got the waves of blood that can push you back, and all these ways to damage you. I'm already down to 1 health thing, and I'm like, man, I can't be playing with this boss. I have to just do it the slow way, hit it from range, let the wolves do their thing, and then try to stay away from, you know, this ridiculous attack pattern he has. Look at this. I don't have time to even attack him. I just gotta keep spamming tornadoes and keep sending the dogs. But anyway, that's my view and the quick review of this character, the Druid in Diablo 4 beta gameplay. Now I know it's just a beta. I get it. It's just a beta. It's not the full game. And this one right here, I'm only level 14, so I didn't even have the ultimate, none of that stuff either. I get it. But you already know the vibes. Like and subscribe for the channel, baby. It's Stunner Kid Gunner in the place to be. And I'll be back with some more videos when the game drops, because that's it. The beta's over, baby. It's over. Peace.
Subscribe.